Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Game Dojo. I am your triumphant host, the Game Ninja, and welcome to 24K movies, gaming, and TV show reviews. I wanted to do this review while it's just fresh in my head. So, as you can tell, I just got finished watching No One Will Save You. It is a Hulu original 20th Century Fox Studios alien abduction movie. It's an alien. It was an home invasion movie, but the likes you've never seen before. Before we give it a score, let's take you through the positive, the pros, the cons, the negatives, and the funny shit. Okay, so if you ever seen Fire in the Sky, this is going to be reminiscent of Fire in the Sky. If you ever seen X-Files, Fight for the Future, it's got a lot to do with that. You ever seen Quiet Place? It has a lot to do with that. But I'm not saying it's verbatim pick and choosing from them. I'm saying it's reminiscent of them. Even The Simpsons. Even The Simpsons episode. The episode is Treehouse of Horror, when the aliens take the Simpsons to space and they think they're going to eat them. So it's such a hurt and painful emotion that they throw them back on Earth, and they're just like, Lisa, sometimes you talk too much for your own good. Sometimes we tell you, you need to be quiet. But No One Will Save You. It doesn't hold back from the door. So it happens pretty quick. We're introduced to this female character who's going through some sort of breakdown. They don't say what the breakdown is at first. The story, as the story progresses, we're puzzle pieced into it to figure out what happens. So of course they take you through her day. She's writing letters. Everything seems nice in this beautiful, quaint farmhouse, and then all hell breaks loose. They zoom in from the top of the house, and you sort of know what you're getting into from there. Lights, beaming, electricity. You're like, it's aliens. Here we go from the door. So she's awakened to a sound. She walks downstairs and finds this creature in her house, and then it's just on from there. It's on and popping and craculating from there. And I kind of see, I'm ambivalent. I have so many different emotions about this at the same time. Number one, I both like it and hate it at the same time. I'll tell you why. There is some woke culture in this, because we're treated to the female hero and heroine again. I get it. In 2023, the concept is not lost on us. Men suck, women rule. I'm with ya. But in the movies all the time, we go from Arnold to, Sigourney Weaver fought aliens, and she was a female heroine, and they didn't need to dumb down, all the men in the world, but it's okay. That's neither here nor there. So she starts fighting this thing, and this thing, there's a lot of cat and mouse and touch and go. You see this and see that. War of the Worlds. Those type of aliens with the little legs that walked around? There was a lot of that feel in here. So you definitely get the feel of a lot of movies that tried and pushed the envelope, but they didn't go to the horror extent. This movie also takes you through a wave of different emotions. At times it's a drama, at times it's a sci-fi movie, at times it's a horror movie, at times is you don't know what the fuck it is. Honestly, there's scenes towards the end of this movie that you're just sitting like, what the fuck am I watching? What is going on? Did Krampus put him in a snow globe, or is that what this is? They in the Krampus thing wearing a snow globe and they can't get out? It took me to a bunch of different places in movies that I saw, because I was just like, well, all right, where are we going with this? Where are we going with this? And then the ending reminded me of the Barbie movie for some reason. Yeah, the ending kind of reminded me of the Barbie movie with the singing and the dancing and the smiles. Like, it definitely gave me a weird, uneasy feeling, because I'm left with questions that we probably won't get an answer to. There's no need for a part 2. If they made a part 2, which I don't see how, the world was taken over, but that's neither here nor there. So she kills one of these things with like a big Monopoly piece from, you ever seen like Beetlejuice? You know, he had like the model of the town, and he had all this stuff. Like, he flipped over the table because they can control things, and she grabbed one of the little pieces and stabbed them in the head, and apparently they die just as easy as we do. So after she stabbed them in the head, she pieced out and laid against the wall until the sun came up. And then my first thing would have been, I'm out. I'm fucking out. So she went out and tried the car. The car didn't work. I would have been on foot. I don't care. Car be damned. I'll be on foot. I need to get to some people and tell people what the hell's going on. But of course, I digress. That's not what happened. Well, that is what happened, but it's not what happened. So she gets a bike. Well, first she goes in the house and takes a shower because, I'm going to stay in the house with a dead alien that may not be dead, that may be leaking spores that can go down my throat and bust out of my chest. Okay, so she took a shower because she needed to get cleaned up before, she went to town. Because I don't know. But so she makes it to town, and she walks by 4 or 5 cops, and they would have been the first ones that I jumped on, but she doesn't. So she goes to the police station and sees a woman. The woman spits on her, and you're like, okay. By the way, almost no dialogue is used in this movie. I guarantee it was like 1 page of script. There's almost no words this entire film. A lot of music, a lot of emotions. Like I said, reminiscent of another movie, Willy's Wonderland with Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage almost never speaks through the entire movie, yet the movie carries. And that's great acting. I will give it to you. That's great acting. If you can carry a movie without talking, it's great acting. 100%. So when the cops don't help her, she decides, hey, I'm going to catch a bus out of town. The only thing I kind of wish they made it into like maybe a series, so they flushed out the plot, because there were so many things that was being thrown at you so quick and so fast. You were either going to grasp it and run with it, or you're going to be like, wait a minute, I'm lost. This being one of the scenes. So she decides to piece out of town. She gets a bus ticket, and she jumps on the bus, and she was like, I'm out. Smart idea. I said the same thing. I'd have got the hell out of town. I wouldn't care if it was on a bus, a boat, a bicycle. I would have left. So as she's riding on the bus, she's got a little disguise on, I guess, because everybody in the town hates her, because they haven't disclosed to you yet why she's hated. So as the bus is going, this guy gets up and sits behind her, and then he puts his hand on her shoulder, so she stands up to move to another area, and he's an alien. Somehow it's in his throat. You see this thing moving, and he's trying to attack her, but clearly not everybody on the bus is an alien, because some people are being freaked out while other people are, I guess, aliens that took them over too. So the bus driver stops the bus. Clearly he wasn't an alien, but he didn't peace out. Like I said, very weird. And then you're just like, did she fall asleep? Am I dreaming this? This is a dream sequence. They don't give you anything to run on. They just leave it at your feet to catch up. So she's running, and she makes it back to her house again. So she does a full circle and comes all the way back to her house again. So of course now the alien has a trail of slime from his throat out to the garden, because this whatever crawled out of him is in the garden. So what do? You get the hell out, right? No. You crawl around on the ground looking for the thing that came out of his mouth into the garden. I wouldn't. But to each his own. So she figures she would do her Macaulay Culkin, Kevin McAllister thing, because she figures the aliens are going to come back. So just like Kevin from Home Alone, she sets out a plan by fortifying her house with blankets. Comforters. Yeah, she nails comforters over the doors and walls and windows. So I should say at the beginning of the movie, these things have mind control, and they literally ripped her house apart, opened things, slammed doors, smacked her with a door, flipped over tables. But her comforter nailed to the windows and doors is going to keep these aliens out. But as dumb as that premise seems, I'm glad it wasn't lost on production, because what happens? He just shoots the nails out and tears down her, the protective comforters, they'll do a lot. Tears it down, comes after her. They take their boy Earl the alien that she stabbed earlier. Of course, they got some hard feelings, so now they kind of pissed off that she killed Earl. So they got to come after her again. So they lay siege to the house, and there's another cat and mouse hiding here, jumping here. She puts boiling pots of water on the stove, which sooner or later are going to come in handy, but they don't pay off half as well as you think they would. Like in Signs, water hurts the aliens. I guess boiling water in this one just slows them down, because it didn't really hurt them. But she fights back and forth, in and out of the house, upstairs, through there. She finally catches another small homeboy and she stabs him through there. So now Earl and JJ have been both stabbed by her. So of course now she has a body count of 2. So now they have to come and kill her. So she falls out the window instead of finishing off JJ upstairs in the bathroom. JJ, the space alien. He stabbed through the shoulder, so I'm pretty sure he pissed off, but she left him nailed to the wall. So as she comes outside, there's a bigger one in the distance looking for her, and he voguing, like he's sitting there doing the vogue, like strike a pose, did. He's doing the Madonna shit. I don't know why he's doing the Madonna shit. Strike a pose. He's doing all this shit. Walk like an Egyptian, you know. So while he pop locking out there in the middle of the woods, the ship comes down, and I'm just like, where do we go from here? So clearly you can see that they're laying siege to not just her area, but the entire town and probably pretty much the world. We're not given that information. You gotta use your brain meats and walk into it. So as she finally gets to this point, she runs to the car again, and of course he follows her. You know, the Vogue alien, the one that be pop locking. You know, the one that's doing the Thriller, you know. So he gets stuck in the car. She lights fire to him, blows up, and of course they come back. So now you got JJ, Earl, and Mikey D. So she killed 3 of the aliens. Now they ain't gonna take this lying down. She popped 3 of their boys. So now they real pissed off. So now they looking for her like, we gonna stab you, you know, give you some Indian burns. Like, they gonna do a lot of stuff to her when they find her. But unfortunately, she makes it back into the house again. And I hate to quote Jurassic Park, but I will. And we're back in the house again. Well, at least we're away from the aliens. Nope, hold that thought, because now she's grabbed by the hair and dragged out the house by when Harry met Sally Alien, and he's dragging her over there because they're just like, look, this bitch that took out JJ, Earl, and Marky D. Like, we gotta kill her. Like, everybody else was taken down, like cops with bullets, military, bazookas. She killed one with a broomstick, a Monopoly piece, hot water, and fire. Yet, I guess the military were no match. Go figure. Just like in A Quiet Place. Go figure. It took basically a docile, I don't even know. It seems like take the weakest character to be the strongest thing in the middle of an alien movie. So anyway, they hem her up, and now it's over. Like, we got her, there's nothing you can do. And of course she escapes again, because the entire movie is her running for her life, surrounded around this house, which I give them to it credit, because you don't have to have very big production costs if your entire movie is centered around one house. It's very claustrophobic, but it's very smart, because you don't have to worry about production of the entire towns and laying siege to the world. Even though I'd like to see that in an alien movie, because that's what shows us the grand scale of this. Like, we're thinking this is just captured in a small area, but we do know this has happened globally. They give us little images every now and then of these little black, if you've seen Nope, it's like the donut aliens, but they're black, the ships. So we get this in here. So finally, she makes it in the house. She goes upstairs. She locks herself in. I'm guessing it was her sister's room, because they don't really tell you who this girl is that we see in pictures and everything back and forth here. We know something bad happened. We just don't know what. But we're assuming at this point it's her sister or her girlfriend. Like I said, they don't give you too much to go on. Once you get to this point, the alien finds her. He does the here's Johnny from The Shining by biting through the door and sticking his head through. And he's like, now it's time to go. So of course she's hiding in the back, and she's got another sharp object. She was like, I took down 4 of y'all. Like, hey, yo ain't no match. I got you. But to quote Tremors, this one ain't falling for it. This one is smart. So as she comes up behind him, he does the little of the finger and throws her through a wall. Now this is pretty much ball game right now, because she ain't got no energy left. He WWE slammed her through a wall. Like, I don't care how tough you are. Somebody fling you through a wall, you gonna feel it. She ain't the strongest thing in the world. She like 120 pounds soaking wet with work boots on. So she ain't eating that. I'm sorry. And I'm glad they didn't let her eat that. Because if she would have ate that and just got back up, I'm like, bullshit. So I like the fact that they did pay attention, but there was a lot of unrealism in here that just, it irked the living shit out of me. It really did. And then at a certain point, once you get to this point, you're 75% into the movie, you realize she is the main cast. There's not going to be a bunch of other people. There's not going to be some dude named Jake who drives up in the truck. Is like, come with me if you want to live. All right, they're taking over the town. We gotta go and save. And this is Charlie, my brother. Like, none of that happens. This is just her versus the aliens. Her versus the aliens. This is where we are. So she runs out to one of the rooms in the upper level, and they catch her with the red light, green light. So they froze her, and then they smack her on the ceiling, smack her on the floor, smack her on the ceiling, smack her on the floor. Like, look, bitch, we got you. It's over. It's a ball game. It's a wrap. So as the alien comes in, he coughs up the little spider thing with all the fingers, because everybody else, I'm guessing that's how the thing, goes down your throat. Like, we've seen that in so many alien movies too, with the spider thing. Like, we ain't really need that. Like, they could have just like bled and spores went up your nose and into your body, like germs and shit like that. They could have done that, but they did the, let me explain something to y'all. I don't have a fear of worms or spiders. I don't like them. But can we stop putting worms in people's eyes and in mouths and throwing up all, like, the strain, throwing up worms in people's mouths and eyes? I'm not over it. I just want to let y'all know that. I'm not over it. I'm not over the strain. Not over it. I'm not over that TV series where they're putting worms in people's eyes to control their brains. It really escapes me right now.
The strain.
No, that was I'm talking about, this is a sci-fi show about aliens taking over the world. Mason was the main dad, and they took his son and put the harness on his back, and the harness fused to the spine, and he can talk to aliens, and they got these mechs that walk around that you kill. I can't get forget it. My brain is going. I know y'all seen it. Where's my phone? Is my phone anywhere around here? Is my phone over there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Because this is going to kill me if I don't tell y'all. Falling Skies. Okay, so there we go. Falling Skies is the name of the series where they put the worms in your eyes. And anyway, I went too far down the deep end for the worm thing. But anyway, so my man coughs up the worm spore with things all going around. And I'm like, something's going to stop it. Somebody's going to come in. There's going to be a gunshot. Something's going to break it. No, they don't. They let the shit all down her throat. And she wakes up and she's having visions. And we're back to Krampus again, because now I'm just like, okay, so she's in the snow globe forever. This is what's going to happen. So the vision shows us a little bit of what happened with what I'm guessing now is her sister, because you see younger pictures of her. They grew up together. So I'm like, this is her sister, and something bad happened. And the fact that she's punishing herself means she did something. So this is where we are. So during the middle of the vision, she sticks her hand down her throat and pulls the spider out. Once again, nobody else in this town or in the world has been able to do this. Just this one woman has the resilience to kill JJ, Earl, Marky D, and the boys, stabbing them up with flames, broomsticks, Indian burns, and a Monopoly piece to the head. Yet the military, the army, the police in town with guns, shotguns, blasts, and grenades, they can't take none of these things out, and nobody else has been able to pull the spider out of their throat. So, go figure. Go figure. So, of course, she's pulled the spider out of her throat, and she's running. Now she's outside, and she's running, and she catches up with herself. So I guess these things clone them. Body snatchers. Invasion of body snatchers. They put something in you, it takes over your body, looks exactly like you, and they replace you. Like I said, bits and pieces of a lot of movies that you've seen before sewn together. They did it pretty good, so I'm not going to knock them on that, because they did it actually pretty good. Like, you pick up on them. Like I said, even the Simpsons thing, well, I'll get to that in the end. You'll feel me on that in the end. So anyway, instead of running from herself, which she knows is an alien because she's looking at herself, so the alien shanks her. He shanks her with the Monopoly piece, like, this is for JJ, Earl, and Mikey D. He stabs her in the stomach. So while she's being shanked by Sir Sanksalot, she brings up a box cutter, which we don't know she has or how she's had it, and she slits him on the throat, and the alien falls to the ground. Now you would think she would run, but she doesn't. She holds herself, caresses herself on the ground, knowing it's an alien, cries over herself, and rubs the face. No. Just no. 1,000 times no. 1,000,000 times no. Hello? Yeah, no, fucker, no. So of course she decides to run. Too late, and she comes across another one of them ones that be doing the Vogue outside. He throwing up his symbols from the gangs up in space. Xenomorphs. Zoltan. So of course he's just like, nah, bitch, ball game. Hits her with the light, zaps her up in the alien ship, and I'm like, finally, now it's over. We in ball game. No, it's not the end. So they have a conversation amongst themselves, and they all walking around while she trapped in the light, and they like, yo, she killed Earl, she killed Prince Marky D, she killed JJ, she took care of Dinkins, Michael Quills Dinkins, like she took care of all our peeps. Like that's 4 people out though. Like we got killed her, man. We gotta make it bad. We got 6 spiders in the mouth, up the ass, some Indian burns. We gotta do all that to her. But while they're deciding her fate, they touch her in the forehead and give her another mind trip, which is where we figure out and find out what happened. Apparently, her mom and somebody else was in the kitchen not paying attention. She got into an argument with her sister. They was outside pushing each other in a shot fight. She picked up a rock and she Shawshanked her straight out. So she killed her sister, and they're looking at this, and they take her through the whole thing, the police coming and everything and everybody else. So now you realize why everybody in town hates her, because she killed her sister. They know it. They were there. She stayed in the same town. She didn't move like to another part of Indiana or New York. Hey, if you would have came to New York, maybe you might have lived. You ain't even think about that. If you came to New York, you might have lived. But she stayed in the same town. So now they see her, what she's interacting with herself and her memories, and she finally holds her hand as a child and forgives herself. And the aliens realize she's too fucked up to take. They can't use the spiders on her because she'll yank it out her throat again. They can't take over her mind. So they decide in the end, she's too damaged. She's damaged goods. And they reject her. They just drop her shit back on the earth like, sorry, we ain't got nothing for you. Like, it is what it is, bro. You too fucked up. We can't take you. Like, sorry. You there. And this is what I mean by the aliens. In the Simpsons episode Treehouse of Horror, the Simpsons behaved so bad in space because they thought the aliens were trying to eat them, and the aliens were trying to bring them to a higher form of evolution and teach them all this stuff, that the aliens rejected them and dropped them back on Earth. That's exactly what they did to her. They dropped her back on Earth and was like, yeah, you can get the finger, the middle. We ain't fucking with you. You killed JJ, you killed Earl, you killed Prince Marky D, and Rodney Quill Dinkins. You killed them all. We ain't messing with you. You too broken. We was trying to show you something, a better way of life, humanity-wise, but now you just there. So it is what it is, baby. Peace. I'm out. And then we cut to her waking up and smiling, and some time has passed. It has to be, because now I'm like, we're back to the whole Krampus snow globe thing, but no, it's really happening. And there are people smiling and working on her garden, and people around her house, and she's smiling and talking to them, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And that's the WTF. You say that a bunch of times in here because they don't give you enough to go on. They just lay it at your feet and let you taste it. So as she's walking around and riding her bike and going through town, it's just like a very happy day. Like Bill Withers. When I wake up in the morning light and the sunlight goes my way, burn, burn, burn. Just one look at you, dun, 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 dun. A lovely, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day. So she gets to town and they're having a party and everybody's dancing and smiling. They got those big smiles like off the movie Smile. And you see the shit in their throat. So they're aliens, but unfortunately, there's nothing they could do for her, so they rejected her and put her back on Earth. And then you close out and you see that this basically happened everywhere. So the aliens have taken over Earth. She was too fucked up to take, so they put her back on Earth as a human being. But for some reason, she's okay with this now. She's okay with everybody being taken over by aliens because they're treating her nice. Which, let's face it, who wouldn't want to live in a life where everybody is happy, everything is hunky-dory? I mean, you know they're aliens, but everybody's having parties and dancing and everything else, but they're not shoving spiders down your throat. Right? They ain't putting spider burgers so you can eat them and try to get you. I tried to get you. We tried another spider. Just wanted to see if it was going to work. You ate that burger, but I saw you. You pulled him out. He was yeah. I know you. So, of course, that's all we have to go on because then it's credits in the end after the dancing montage. And I don't know. I'm ambivalent. I have so many different emotions about this because my biggest complaint with movies is they're never original. And though this is bits and pieces of a lot of movies that I saw, and my brain meats caught it all. Y'all ain't slick. I caught it all, including the Simpsons thing of aliens rejecting humans and throwing them back on Earth. But I would like to have seen if there was more than one human that was messed up, so messed up mentally that they put them back on Earth too. So there's a bunch of other ones running around like, hey, I'm real, you're real too, we both messed up, but now ain't the world great? We don't need money, we can do whatever we want. It's just joy and love and fun. Like, everything is just hot. We can go and borrow DVDs, we ain't got to pay for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no more nobody doing no Indian burns. Like, we happy. It's euphoria. So, they didn't show us that either. So, as far as we know, she's the last person on Earth because they just rejected her and dropped her back on Earth. They ain't even stitch up her stomach. They like, nah, you can get the finger. Peace. And then credits. So, how can I quantify this into a movie rating on our metallic scale? I can't give it a platinum. I would like to, but I can't give it a platinum because there was too many things. It felt like it was forced and rushed. I'd rather you had take the time and flesh it out on maybe like a mini series to give us like 6 episodes. That way you could have done more in depth. You could have shown more of the world decaying, more of the people being taken, more of this happening on a global scale, not just in this locked place, which I do get it. It's not lost on me. You made it a movie. To make it a series probably would have been more expensive. I get it. For what it is, I'm going to say I can't even give it a gold. I've definitely seen scarier because that parts of this was funny. Parts of it I saw coming a mile away. At some point, the aliens were just funny. Like, they were funny. Like, they weren't scary. They were funny. Especially the one voguing and pop-locking outside. Like, he spent... Like, they could have showed, like, an image of that, like, real fast. Like, 20 seconds of him going. But no, they didn't. My man pop locking and hit it with the Thriller for like almost a minute. He was just outside in the ship, you know. He was pop locking the Thriller. And not that I get him wrong. I mean, thank you guys for shouting out Michael Jackson. Rest in peace. One love. One love, Mike. So then where do I lie this? It's definitely higher than Copper because it's not shit. It's not shit. I want to reward originality, so it's definitely above Copper. Let's say nickel, silver. I applaud the effort. I applaud the originality. I applaud sewing different pieces of stuff together, and maybe unintentionally you guys didn't do it, but I caught on to all the different movies and television shows that you forced in together, including the Fire in the Sky thing. The whole Travis Walton thing of being struck by the light and yanked up into the sky, that definitely hit me as the Travis Walton story, Fire in the Sky. Definitely hit me. The aliens having the big eyeballs and the rounded eyes. Definitely, X-Files Fight of the Future. Definitely, 100%. Signs, there's a lot of signs going on in here. There's a lot of, what is the name of that series I just said? Oh, yeah, Falling Skies. A lot of Falling Skies in here. Even The Simpsons, even War of the Worlds, when they were in the basement with the crazy Tim Robbins and the alien came in. It's reminiscent of a lot of different movies that they pieced together. But they did it in such a way where they didn't go verbatim into it, and I have to give them a higher rating for that, because if they could have just copied and pasted like most movies do, I would have been a lower rating. Definitely a lower rating. Entertaining, crazy. I wouldn't classify it as horror, even though I know that's what they're going for, a horror genre. I wouldn't give it a horror, because some of it was comedic. Like I said, the pop like an alien, that's funny to me. That's funny. That's not scary. If I was being brought to a spaceship and the alien is doing the Michael Jackson Thriller and pop locking and voguing out there, like, I'd have been dancing with him like, oh, okay, I can speak that language, sir. Huh? Dirt off the shoulders? Huh? Dirt off the shoulders. But that didn't happen. That was meant to be scary. And creepy imagery aside, there's a difference between creepy imagery, funny, creepy imagery, eerie, and creepy imagery scary. Definitely wasn't scary for a horror fan like me. But there may be some children out there be like, oh, that was disturbing. Oh, no, stop. Wait a minute. I can't go to sleep. They're going to come out the window. He's going to be pop locking. He's going to come for me. He's going to stick the spider down my throat. I do get it. But silver. Here in the Game Dojo, 24K movie reviews give this a silver. It is definitely better than a lot of Alien movies we've seen, but it's definitely not the best of the Alien movies. X-Files Fight for the Future definitely would be higher. Signs, definitely higher. When it comes to movies like this, I understand you going out on a limb for the scary imagery, but some of it fell. It wasn't scary, it was comedic. Like, it was comedic at points. Like, here's the thing. If there's one little, I don't want to say weak lady because that sounds bad, but she's very weak and damaged, very frail. She's not muscle bound. She's not Gina Carano. She's none of those people. So she's very weak. If she would manage to take down Earl, Peter Quill Dinkins, JJ, and Prince Marky D of the Aliens, why couldn't the cops? Why couldn't the military? Could you have shown us Could you show us that maybe they had bigger aliens like Cloverfield that come out the sky and they're just so big, they're as big as the clouds, and that's how they were able to take down some of these big military people? Like, I'm just spitballing. Give us a grander scale of the invasion. Like, just try just a little bit more. Even when when the morning she woke up and she went from different houses, you can see the little circle patterns on the ground. That's directly from signs, the crop circles and the signs that they made to navigate. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of those movies reminiscent in here, which gives this a higher boost. But unfortunately, from a horror standpoint, nothing made me drunk or scared. I mean, like I said, some of it was comedic, and I know they didn't mean it to be, but it's 2023, dog. Ain't too much we haven't seen. I give you credit for originality on a lot of the things, but ain't too much we haven't seen nowadays. Grim Cuddy, that was another one that was original. That shit kind of freaked me out. I'm not gonna lie. Grim Cuddy kind of freaked me out. And just recently, last week, I watched the John with the hand, where you give the dead hand a handshake. What the hell was that? Talk to Me. Yeah, thank you. Talk to Me. Another original movie. Had horror elements that were great. Something I haven't seen in a very long time. This is what I'm saying. So horror can be done the right way. Even effed up horror can be done the right way. This one, I'm definitely going to recommend that you watch it, because you have to watch it once, because it definitely has a Jordan Peele-esque feeling to it. Like, if you've seen Nope and Us and stuff like that, it definitely has that kind of creepy feel to it, but it doesn't have the polish that he would have had on this. I would like to have seen his input on something like this, because this is definitely right up his alley. And I give the people who did this credit, because they were going out on that ledge. I mean, I wouldn't have put a pop lock and Michael Jackson dancing alien up in my movie, but it was creepy imagery. That's what they were going for. So I salute you going out on a limb and trying it rather than not at all. Like, I'm so glad this movie wasn't just one of those movies where everything is just pitch black. They use a 1-watt bulb. You can't see what's attacking you. You can't see what's killing you, because they're trying to save money on budget. So they're like, oh no, we'll just make it all in the dark so you can't see anything. The Boogeyman is another movie I've seen recently. I'm gonna have to do a Boogeyman review too. Any movie that starts out in spoiler alert, 3, 2, 1. Boogeyman. Any movie that starts off and in the first 1 minute of the movie, you show a creature kill a baby in a crib, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. I knew right then and there what type of movie we was in for. That was fucked up. You killing a baby in a crib in the first minute. That's Stephen King messed up. Yeah. It's not as messed up as The Mist, where you shoot all your family and then you run out of bullets for yourself and you go outside because you're waiting to die, and then you realize everything is over and the army saved everybody and you just murdered your kid and everybody. It's not that level of effed up, but it's effed up. So stay tuned, because we're going into the horror month of Halloween, and you definitely going to see a lot of movie reviews for horror here. We are old school horror in a new school genre. So we're going to critique both new school, next school, and old school, because you cannot know where you're going unless you know where you came from. Now, not every old horror movie landed. I'll give you that 100%. But there's some old school horror with practical effects. No CG, y'all. Practical effects that even to this day shine higher than the movies that are made today. And I'm going to take y'all on that trip with me. But from the Game Dojo, this is 24K movies and reviews and television and game reviews. Giving No One Will Save You, because that is the title, and that's exactly what happens. Nobody saves her. Nobody saves her. Spoiler alert. Nobody saves her. They rejected her. They flat out dropped her back on Earth like, nah, bitch. You too broken. We can't even pop lock you and put you in to the dance choir. Like, we can't put you on America's Next Top Dance Model thing. America's Got Talent. Anyway, I'll check you guys next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check this movie out. It's on Hulu. Go check it out. It's a good thing to take up some time, and it's a great thing if you want to experience something you haven't experienced pretty much in a long time. It's like I said, there's other movies fed into it, which is good, but they don't do it verbatim to the point where you're just like, oh, they biting. That's a straight bite. But it's enough fed into it to give you that feeling of those movies, and that's worth respecting. I'll check you guys out next time. I love you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. From the Game Dojo, we out.